Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Kashif Kamran, AA expert tutor with a focus on 45 days exam strategy for AA December 2025 exams. Now this is a crucial time with exams just 45 days away. What sort of a study approach you should all adopt to excel in your upcoming exam? The first and the foremost thing is to carry out a self evaluation because that holds the key. Each one of you are unique in your circumstances. Some of you might be repeating the AA paper. Some of you might be giving it for the first time. You might be giving a single paper in December, or you might be giving more than a paper in December. You might be job based or you might be a full time student. So each one of you has a different characteristic or a different circumstance which you need to evaluate. You need to ask a question to yourself: where am I standing today in terms of my preparation for the upcoming AA December 25 exam? What is still remaining? What sort of practice I need to do, what theoretical content is remaining, how many OTQs I still need to do. You need to find the gaps, and you need to ensure you have 45 days to overcome the gaps and be successful. So devising a strategy is based upon self-evaluation of your individual characteristics, of your individual circumstances, your challenges, your limitations, setting up a timetable which best suits you based upon a question: where am I standing today? Because that is very important. Now, once you know that, once you are able to identify your gaps, once you're able to identify what is still remaining, you will be putting in place a very good timetable which suits you, and you will be uh, ensuring that you adhere to that timetable to be successful. Now, as a tutor, with experience of teaching the AA paper, I will be guiding you about devising that timetable, about what sort of things you should be focusing on over the next 45 days to be successful. The ideal ingredients of a 45-day study plan for AA. You can see that on your screen. The number one thing, I call it as three essentials, and I will be speaking of that shortly. The three essentials are the OTQs, in section A of the paper, 30% of the paper. Then you have 70% of the paper, which is constructed response. But in the constructed response area, you do have knowledge questions as well for few marks. You cannot ignore knowledge questions. You cannot lose marks around knowledge questions. And then definitely you have case specific questions, which are the constructed response question. Each of the three essentials on your screen plays a crucial part in your success, and we need to devise a strategy for each of the three elements. Technical articles definitely are important. How would you ensure you have covered reasonable amount of technical articles? You've read reasonable amount of technical articles, examiner reports, their value, their importance in your success, and are you putting good enough time to investigate the reasons why student failed the double exam? And finally, the mock which ACCA will release for the December 25 exam. Let's open up our discussion around the three essentials to pass the AA paper. OTQs, Section A. How many and from where? Knowledge, Section B. Which topics should I focus on for knowledge and from where? Constructed response questions, which comes in Section B. 30 marks, 20 marks, and 20 marks. How many should I do them? And again, from where? So let's focus on the answers to these three essentials, the answer to the OTQs, the knowledge and constructed response question as you sit down to devise your 45 days exam strategy. Let's first look at the OTQs, Section A. How many and from where? A total of 255 OTQs is what I believe should be part of your 45 days exam strategy. Let's see what's the breakup of these 255 OTQs. 180 OTQs divided into 31 subtopics, are available on ACCA Study Hub in the practice area for AA. Then you have 30 OTQs on the ACCA practice platform for practice exam 1 and practice exam 2. Each contain 15 OTQs, making it a total of 30. Then you have examiner reports for March, June 25, September, December 24, March, June 24, September, December 23, March, June 23, and September, December 24. 5 OT questions are available in each examiner report, and I'm recommending 6 examiner reports. So 5, 6 are 30. You have another 30 OTQs coming from examiner reports. I have no idea. Have you ever considered examiner reports for OTQs? Because examiner reports do include 5 OT questions. So you can visit these examiner reports not just to investigate why students fail, but to do OTQs. So 30 OTQs from 6 examiner reports on your screen. So that's another 30. Then finally, you have 15 OTQs which will be published as part of the pre-December 25 mock, which ACCA will be releasing. That's another 15 OTQs, making a total list of 255 OTQs to focus on over the next 45 days. Fair amount of practice, fair amount of practice for you to do well in Section A. Knowledge, Section B. What sort of approach you should follow for Section B? What sort of approach you should follow for constructed response question? We know within the constructed response area, within the 70% of the area, you do get direct knowledge questions as well for few marks, and you cannot lose those easy marks. Let's look at knowledge strategy. Knowledge questions in Section B plays a crucial part in scoring easy marks in AA. Students should be well versed with knowledge-based questions by doing a thorough practice of recent papers to know what sort of knowledge question comes in the AA. And they're repetitive. They're repetitive. So if you do a fair amount of practice, you might be lucky enough to get the same in your exam setting. Knowledge questions are repetitive, so if you've done good amount of past papers, you are reasonably assured of being lucky to find the same or some in your exam. Let's look at some common knowledge-based questions from the past paper. Most repetitive, important knowledge questions, which I have scanned through. Define a significant deficiency in internal control and describe 4 methods the auditor should consider in determining whether a deficiency in control is significant. Number 3, describe the preconditions for an audit that an audit firm should consider prior to accepting the audit. Number 4, describe the 5 components of the NTD system of internal control. Number 5, explain the purpose of an audit engagement letter and list 4 items that should be included in the audit engagement letter. Number 6, list 4 control objectives of a sales system. Number 7, briefly explain how sources of information will be used by an audit firm to gain an understanding of the client at the planning stage of the audit. Number 8, 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages of outsourcing the internal audit function. Number 9, in line with the ISA 220 quality management for an audit of financial statement, describe the auditor responsibility in relation to supervising and reviewing the work performed during the audit of the Lapis company. These are 9. Moving on, number 10th. Describe 2 methods of documenting the sales system or internal control system. Explain 1 advantage and 1 disadvantage of each method of documenting the internal control system. Explain the benefits of audit planning. 11. Number 12, describe the matters the firm should consider prior to accepting the new audit client. Number 13, describe the factors which the audit engagement partner would consider in determining the issue is a CAM, and describe the content of CAM section of the audit report. Explain the steps the auditor should take in relation to a breach of independence at a client. Number 14. Number 15, explain the responsibility for the audit under ISA 250, consideration of laws and regulations in the audit of financial statement. Number 16, ISA 260, communication with those charged with governance, provide guidance to auditor in relation to communication with those charged with governance on matters arising from the audit of an entity financial statement. So, what sort of matters do you communicate to those charged with governance under ISA 260? Explain why it's important for an auditor to communicate throughout the audit with those charged with governance. So that's in relevance to the question number 16 above. Why it's important for the auditor to communicate with those charged with governance, and identify two examples of matters you communicate with those charged with governance. So that's in relevance to the question 16, part 1, part 2. Look at your screen. Look at the number of questions most repetitive, 16 of them. If you brush over this list, you have answer to these questions, you are fair enough in terms of your practice of the knowledge questions, and you might be lucky enough that some of them get repeated in your December 25 exam. Please ensure you have answers to each of the 16 questions on your screen and you're not losing easy marks. If you look at the last 5 exam settings and you look at the section B, look at the pie chart. The pie chart is telling you that 11% of the 70 marks have been from knowledge. So knowledge is playing a crucial part. Knowledge is contributing to 11% in section B, and these are easy marks. The rest, 24% is audit risk, how dominating that is. 16% is control deficiency. Control deficiencies and recommendation is an important area. Direct control and test of control is 7%. Substantive procedures is 29%. Audit report is 7, quality management is 3, governance weaknesses and recommendation is 3. Now, this is a holistic pie chart of things which have come in section B and give you a realistic idea on what track you need to prepare yourself over the next 45 days. So it's not just a knowledge question, which contributes to 11% in section B over the last 5 exam settings. You need to assure the repetitive topics which are coming in section B for constructed response questions around which you need to devise your timetable. Let's see more deeply the constructed response questions and how to ensure we have a fair practice around them. For section B, taking control of section B, just like we had 255 OTQs for section A. And for section B, we first focus on the knowledge part, which is 11% in the last 5 settings. Now just let's focus on the remaining, what sort of things you need to do. Do recent exams on ACCA Practice platform. There are 10 exam papers available on ACCA Practice platform for you to do. And 10 exam paper means in every exam paper, you have 3 constructed response questions, so making a total of 30 constructed response question. That's a fair practice for success. Which 10 papers? March, June 25 paper, September, December 24, September, December 24. Sorry, that's a repetition. March, June 25, September, December 24, March, June 24, September, December 23, March, June 23, and September, December 24. So even if you eliminate the repetition, there are still 6 of them. So we have 6, the papers, March, June 25, September, December 24, March, June 24, September, December 23, March, June 23, and September, December 23. So we have 6 over here, and we have 2 practice exams on the ACCA practice platform, practice exam 1 and 2. So that makes the list to 8. 1 mock exam, which ACCA will release for December 25. So that's basically 9. So this 10 should be 9 here. So you have 9 papers to practice, and in each of the 9, you have 3 questions. So that will make the list to 27 constructed response question, not 30. So just need to make that change. So 9 past papers, recent one, and that means 27 constructed response questions will give you a fair practice of section B, fair practice of the types of questions which are coming in section B, and you will be good. So 27 questions, constructed response questions, almost 16 knowledge-based questions, and you have 255 OTQs. Technical articles, 10 of them to read. And I believe these 10 technical articles are really important because they give you good amount of knowledge boosters, knowledge which will be helpful in answering the section B of the paper. Laws and regulations, syllabus area A, that's an article available on the website. Risk and understanding the audit from syllabus area B, audit risk from syllabus area B, audit working paper from syllabus area B, specific aspects of auditing in a computer-based environment, syllabus area C, audit of wages, syllabus area C, audit of assertions, you know how important they are, syllabus area D, audit report, syllabus area E, going concern, syllabus area E, and subsequent events, syllabus area E. These are 10 articles which I recommend you should read because each of the article will give you something of relevance for section A and B, and the knowledge you get from here would be really, really important. Examiner reports. Finally, when you're practicing the 9 recent exam papers which are there on ACC practice platform, you're practicing the constructed response questions, or you're doing the OT questions from examiner report, please ensure you're not ignoring examiner reports. Ignorance of the examiner report is a disaster. Examiner report is a must to read document. I would encourage all of you to read at least the March June 25 examiner report and the September December 25 examiner report for the red and blue analysis to identify why students fail. When you're reading the examiner report, underline the red when you see examiner criticizing something. Examiner is not happy with something. Examiner is highlighting a weak student. Underline with blue if the examiner is appreciating or examiner is saying stronger student. Underline that in blue. Or examiner is giving you an advice that future student should do this. So at the end of the day, if you do that red underlining and the blue underlining, you make a summary. And that summary on a piece of paper would really help you in terms of knowing the examiner advises, what stronger student do, what weaker student do. You can revise it and absorb it. Because when you are practicing, you don't want that to be repeated in your answer. You don't want the red to be repeated in your answer, and you don't want the red to be repeated in the real exam. So if you read the 2 examiner reports with the red and blue analysis, would really be helpful for you to boost your prospects of success in the double exam. You will be knowing the weaknesses, you will be knowing the reasons why students fail, and definitely you will not be repeating it. Make a summary of the red and blues, absorb it, and ensure you're not repeating it. So that is it. So I hope you devise a strategy. I hope you devise a strategy for section A. You devise a strategy to do the 255 OTQs. You devise a strategy for section B, 16 knowledge questions. You devise a strategy to read 10 technical articles. You devise a strategy to do 9 past papers from ACCA practice platform. That's a total of 27 constructed response question, including the mock, which will be published later. But this is the important ingredients of a timetable you will be setting for double A December 25 exams. I wish you all the very best of luck. I hope my discussion today would be beneficial when you sit down to self-evaluate and devise a timetable for your upcoming December 25 exams for double A. All the best. Your tutor, Kashif Kamran, signing off.